granniopteryx. She knows the truth, she's linking every link.
Well, I have been trying to avoid this because everybody's talking about it, but it's coming up again and again. And yeah, I simply can't ignore it. And that is the behaviour of West Midlands police in regard to the Maccabi Tel Aviv match at Aston Villa last, November, was it? Hang on, let me see the screen. Sorry about the reflection. Maybe if I do that. Yeah, that might be better. Documents revealed high confidence intelligence from early September 2025 warned of community members arming themselves against the Israeli club's supporters for the November the 6th Europa League game at Villa Park. Now, you must notice they talk about community leaders. They don't say Pakistani community leaders. They don't say Muslim leaders. And if you hear the police down here, let's see, this guy and all his other spokesmen, they will be talking about community affairs, not Pakistani affairs, like they are afraid to mention that these guys are Muslims and imperialist Muslims as well. Yeah, they will not say that. It's not as if they're afraid. They are afraid. They are terrified. So that's the first thing. This mealy-mouthed or mealy-printed thing here about community members. Not community members, it's Pakistanis who have invaded and taken over. It's all very well talking about immigration. I've spoken about this on many occasions. Immigration is one thing. Hijra is something else, and that's what these people are doing. That is the conquest by numbers, which is what Muhammad did to start with. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, this cold is hanging around a bit. Okay, so let's just remember this. When they say community members, they mean Muslims. And they're not all Pakistanis either, I'm quite sure. Warned of community members arming themselves. Right. So in September, they knew that the Muslims in Birmingham were getting ready to show extreme violence. They knew that and they didn't say anything. Despite this, police recommended and enforced a full away fan ban after talks with Dutch authorities, citing safety amid Israel-Gaza protests. Chief Constable Craig Guildford, whose name should now go down in infamy throughout the history of policing, apologised for not disclosing the threats earlier. He knew about them, but what happened was that I suppose this was a sort of direct instruction, gave all his staff the instruction to put the blame on the Maccabi fans. And this was something that was reinforced. It might have even come from Ayub Khan, the MP for one of the areas of Birmingham, who said that Maccabi fans had been known in Amsterdam to throw people in the river because they were so violent and awful, when it turns out, I mean, we all knew, that it was the Muslims who had organised themselves for that particular football match, and they had thrown at least one Maccabi fan into the river. And because it was an organisation of taxi drivers in the main, they also had connections with reception desks at hotels, so they knew where Maccabi fans were staying and they harassed them there as well. It was a very highly organised, brutal campaign. And Ayub Khan, an MP, stood up and lied that it was completely the other way round. And this police officer here, let's find him again, this guy, this hypocrite liar, said that it was all the fault of the Israeli fans. And here, this fellow here, I don't know whether he did this off his own bat or whether he was instructed to say this, but this is what he said.
There is a section of Maccabi fans, not all Maccabi fans, but a section of them.
How very kind he is to say it's not all the Jews, because let's face it, they mean Jews, even though I might tell you that some of the Maccabi players were Arabs and some of the fans also not Jews. But yeah, let's leave that on one side. The Muslims who are Israeli citizens know that if anything like Hamas got into Israel, they wouldn't care about the fact that they were Muslims. In fact, well, I know of at least one story of a driver, a taxi driver, who'd taken some of the kids to the Nova Festival. He was an Arab and he went back in there to try and soothe things. He said, I speak Arabic, I'm a Muslim, I'll be all right. They killed him. I think they killed him horribly as well. Let's just go back to this guy.
There is a section of Maccabi fans, not all Maccabi fans, but a section of them who engage in quite significant levels of hooliganism.
There's a lack of clarity. Maccabi Tel Aviv told us they're not too sure why their fans were banned. Why were their fans banned? Was it the threat to them or the threat by their fans?
Yeah, so I'm aware there's a lot of commentary around the threat to the fans being the reason for the decision. To be clear, that was not the primary driver. That was a consideration.
That was not the primary driver. The fact that there was a threat to fans. That's what he's saying. And he also tarred the Maccabi fans with the idea, well, some of them are very violent. None of them was violent. The violence was exclusively, and they knew this, from the Muslim community, or as they like to say, the community. Just a minute, what do you mean, the community? We're supposed to be British here. British people is the community. What you are talking about here is the Muslim community. Quite angry. Chief Constable Craig Guildford apologised for not disclosing the threats earlier. No, he only disclosed the threats when he was directly questioned, as information came out when the Dutch police said that no, it wasn't the Maccabi fans at all, apart from one incident where two Maccabi fans, one standing on the shoulders of the other, pulled down a Palestinian flag. That was the extent of their vandalism. Chief Constable Craig Guildford apologised for not disclosing the threats earlier, insisting MPs didn't ask. So let's hear what this fellow has to say. Here's one of the MPs asking this Guildford, hypocrite, liar, policeman, asking him why all this earlier intelligence, why all this earlier information which they knew about hadn't been disclosed earlier.
Only hearing about this now. Why is it that a report has come at lunchtime today from the Times newspaper that you had information on the 5th of September that there were likely to be vigilante groups within the West Midlands community itself who were planning to?
So the West Midlands community itself, this guy, an MP, didn't even say Pakistani or Muslim West Midlands community. No, just the community. That's the community. We are in Britain and we hear our representatives talking about the community. Do you realise what sort of a switch that is? We are British and they are the community. We have already ceded them, that's CEDE. We have already ceded them our space. Do you understand what's going on here? Anyway, yeah. All right, let's carry on.
Take action against the Maccabi fans. How is it that this committee is just hearing this for the first time?
Well, I think this is the first time specifically that you've asked for that detail.
Okay, so You know that one? What is it? There are things we know we don't know. There are things we don't know we don't know. But the things that are the worst are the things we think we know that we don't know. Yeah, you know that one? Well, how can you ask questions about things you don't know you don't know? The MP said, I don't know who he is, but yeah, whoever he is, asked Guildford, liar, hypocrite, policeman, why didn't you tell us that you had information that the community were arming themselves in order to cause violence and bloodshed to Maccabi fans? And he said, well, you didn't ask. So I suppose when you're talking to a policeman now and you want to ask him the time of day and he tells you, well, it's 2 o'clock, and you say, excuse me, just one more question. Are you lying to me? Because apparently that is what you have to, trying to stop the reflection. That is what you're supposed to ask the police now, according to this guy.
That's what we tried. That's what we tried to get across.
Tried to get across. All you did was lie about the Maccabi fans and occasionally make references to the community.
That's,
Did you see how his eyes flickered upwards there? Hang on, let's just go back to that. You see how watch his eyes. Did you see how he was going up there and slightly to his right, which according to body language experts means he's visualizing? And here's a quote from Claire Quilty, whoever she is. When West Midlands police gave this interview, this fellow here, they knew full well that Muslim mobs were planning armed attacks on Israelis, yet they told this interviewer the decision was based exclusively on the behaviour of Maccabi fans. And they went also to talk to the Jewish community and told them the same thing. It was a pyramid of lies. And of course, it was made public at the top of that pyramid by Ayub Khan, who actually inverted the situation in Amsterdam. Oh, and just in case you haven't been keeping up on this, the police also invented a game with West Ham. Maccabi have never played at West Ham, but they invented this game and said that the Maccabi fans had been unruly and violent. They actually invented this situation. That's under the control of this lying hypocrite policeman, Guildford. Now, it happened with the Maccabi game this time. Next time, it'll be something else, run by the community in Birmingham. The takeover. The conquest. That is the community. Not us here in Britain. That little nodule of Muslim settlement is the community of Britain now. Now just remember that. Okay, till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.